For Donna London and Greg Burek of northern Minnesota, getting calls from debt collectors was something that happened to other people.
Just perfect credit. I stayed on top of all my bills.
But when the economy began slowing down in their small town, Donna's cosmetology business dried up, and one maintenance worker's salary wasn't enough to support 3 young children.
I did use the card to pay the bills, and it was just a safety net for me for a while.
The card she's talking about was a store credit card that came pre-approved in the mail, ready to use with just one phone call.
We weren't buying anything extravagant. Food, toilet paper, nothing that wasn't absolutely necessary.
Soon, they fell behind and got trapped in the common cycle of credit card debt. With late fees and a 25% interest rate, the balance ballooned to $9,000, and they could no longer even make the minimum payments.
It's very humiliating.
Once they stopped paying the bill, the store hired a debt collection agency, Academy Collection Service, to take over.
They were calling our house at least 10 times per day.
Like most collection agencies, Academy works on commission, so there's an incentive to be persistent. But there's also a federal law to protect consumers from overly aggressive collectors. For example, a debt collector can't call late at night, lie, swear, or tell anyone about the money you owe. The idea is to protect consumers from harassment.
I totally believe that if you owe debt, you have to pay it back.
At first, Greg says, he tried to explain why his family couldn't pay the entire bill.
I tried to offer some sort of payment plan, and they were unwilling to accept anything I could offer.
The calls kept coming for months, all through the Christmas season. When the phone rang on December 31st, Donna thought it was more of the same.
When I seen it on the caller ID, I didn't even get up to answer the phone because I was nursing my baby. I was just going to let it go.
8:29 a.m.
But when Donna listened to the message a few hours later, she froze. This was a collection call like none she had heard before.
Ever been raped? Yeah.
The message said, "Have you ever been raped?" And then the guy laughed. My first reaction when I heard it was, I can't be hearing this. So I replayed it.
Yeah.
As a woman, that's got to be one of the most terrorizing things you could ever hear.
Donna was home alone with the children. Greg was at work 45 minutes away.
Should I grab the kids and go to my parents? Should I grab the kids and just get away?
When Greg got home, they immediately called the police. Officers confirmed the call came from Academy Collection Service and referred the case to local prosecutors, citing illegal telephone harassment. But no charges were ever filed against the company.
I don't understand why people could do this to me or to anybody. This is not a good thing. You cannot do this to people.
I think it would be hard to surprise me with anything a debt collector could do to collect a debt.
Attorney Peter Berry has sued hundreds of debt collectors and represents Donna and Greg in a federal lawsuit against Academy Collection.
Why would a debt collector leave a message saying, "Have you ever been raped?"
To stir up emotion. What better way to get somebody to return a call than leave a shocking message like that and see what happens?
Berry says that in tough economic times, some collectors turn to more abusive tactics to earn their commissions. The Federal Trade Commission reports that it gets more complaints about debt collection than any other industry.
I've seen everything from physical threats, profanity, threats to the workplace.
But isn't the reality that if people paid their debts, they wouldn't put themselves in a situation where they could be potentially abused by a debt collector?
Sure, debt collectors are entitled to collect what's due and owing to them, but consumers have a right to be treated with truth, fairness, dignity, and respect.
The fact is that the track record is excellent.
Roseanne Anderson is the lead attorney for ACA International, the nation's largest debt collection industry trade group. We asked her about that message allegedly left by someone at Academy, a member of her organization.
Ever been raped? Yeah.
That is insane. That is ludicrous. That has nothing to do with debt collection. If any one of our members actually had to face me and say, "Oh, sure, we do that all the time," I would be shocked, and I probably wouldn't be sitting here representing the industry.
In a letter to Dateline, a lawyer for Academy Collection says he has not had an opportunity to determine if the message actually came from the company. And he says Academy does not tolerate abusive conduct. and swiftly fires collectors who break the law. But in fact, Academy has a history of violations. The federal government recently sued the company, and Academy paid a fine of more than $2 million for what prosecutors called harassing and abusive tactics. Whether it's correct or not, debt collectors have this image of phoning at all hours, harassing people. Where do you think that image came from?
I know that it's outdated in terms of a stereotype. But I also know that it came from the bad acts of a few.
So you would say this is a minority of the debt collectors getting a majority of the attention?
Absolutely.
So do most collectors follow the rules as the industry spokesperson says, or is breaking the law standard operating procedure?
Do you all work together?
Oh, yeah. Coming up, we talk to a group of people who make collection calls for a living and bring our hidden cameras along.
It's worth it for people still to be illegal and collect money.